Welcome to our weekly waffle. This week it is me. Last week Luke started us off on a new series called New Beginnings, and we started at the very beginning in the very first story that we see in the Bible with Adam and Eve. And it's something that if maybe you don't really know a lot about the Christian faith, you have probably heard of Jesus and you've probably heard of Adam and Eve. And the story itself carries a lot of power in a way that's been used in both a good way and maybe a not so good way. It's a story that actually carries quite a lot of baggage with the way it's been seen and interpreted and used over the course of history. But one of the big messages that Luke picked out, and the big message of God really in the start of this story, is that God announces that it's not good for us to be alone. It wasn't good for Adam to be alone. It was the first thing that was not good in the Garden of Eden. And so God gave Adam Eve. And Eve has been translated as the word helper. And so often when we think of the word helper, we think assistant, we think second in command, we think deputy, somebody who is not really needed and they are just a bonus. And it seems that over history, this has been translated as Adam is totally capable 95% of the time. And it would just be nice if once in a while Eve could make Adam a nice crumble, hopefully not made by the fruit of the tree that must not be named. And it's not just cis women who have felt the brunt of this effect of being put in the helper box, but many of the different people who feel on the margins have felt less important, less valuable, less seen, less needed, less powerful compared to the Adams of this world. But actually the real meaning behind the original word Ezer is helper, but is also defender, protector, and someone to cherish. Some of these verses in the beginning of the Bible have not always been helpfully used to describe the beginning of us, the beginning of relationships, the beginning of love, the beginning of power dynamics. Here, as we find Luke said last week, we need each other not because of hierarchy or power or influence, but because we're built for relationship. We're built to be encouragers and protectors, defenders and builder-uppers of one another. People we can be honest with, people we can trust, people we can care for, and people we can show grace to. God built us to need one another. And in this time, January sucks pretty much every year, and January very, very much sucks this year, even more than ever. And so we don't need to brave it alone. We don't need to face it alone. We can face it with one another. And so as we get creative with how we support, how we encourage, how we protect, how we defend, we're reminded that actually the story of creation is about vibrancy, diversity, beauty, colour, creativity. And as we get creative with how we connect with our relationships and how we connect with one another, we can see the beauty and the flourishing of the creation story. As God declares over us, you are going to need each other. So look after yourself and look after one another, because just as Adam needed Eve, we need one another. So do look out for one another, do look after yourselves, and do reach out to us if there's anything that we can be doing to support you in this time.